On today's show,
we debate which team is a bigger threat out west, the streaking Trailblazers or the streaking Pelicans.
will Gordon Hayward return this season? Will the Rockets stretch their win streak to 19? Sacre bleu, Robert!
And we'll hug it out in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
It's Monday, March 5th. The starter starts now!
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're joining us live right now on NBA TV, watching later on YouTube, maybe listening to the podcast, we're very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Thank you for joining us.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily. And last, certainly not least, over yonder, that is the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey,
Yo! TK, what's up, man?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, you can officially add Oscar winner to Kobe Bryant's lengthy resume because at last night's Academy Awards, Kobe took home the award for Best Animated Short Film. Pretty impressive for his poem, Dear Basketball. Puts him in rare air, as The Ringer's Roger Sherman tweeted. Move over, EGOT. Kobe Bryant is the first person to ever pull off the LMFAO, which is the Larry O'Brien Trophy, an MVP, a Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and of course, an Oscar.
Wow.
Super impressive. But it brings us to today's question. Who else could get the LMFAO? And I know what you're thinking. It's got to be LeBron James. He's already got all the trophies, but while he was great in Trainwreck, the movie he's most closely associated with is Space Jam 2, which I don't think is necessarily Oscar bait. So maybe it's Kevin Durant. He's got all the trophies you need to, but he's already been in the movie Thunderstruck, which was snubbed for Best Picture years ago. He already missed his chance, so for me, it's got to be Kyrie Irving. He's got a Larry O'Brien. He's got an All-Star Game MVP. He could win the other two MVPs. And Uncle Drew comes out this summer, and just look at those guys. This could easily win Best Makeup at the Academy Awards. I think it's a pretty solid choice, but we want to hear from you. So hit us up on Twitter and let us know which other NBA players could get the LMFAO. Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get those tweets in. We've got a fun show tonight. We'll discuss the Rockets' 15-game winning streak and how long they can keep that going. We got a new batch of Weekend Whoopsies. We got Lee's very solid play. But let's start with a little what you got. It's been a while. We're going to debate some questions Trey's going to throw at us. Ultimately, try and decide on an answer, but you got to be careful. There's only one correct response, and that's whatever TK says it is. Trey, take it away.
That's right. We got a couple of streakers in the West. On Saturday, the Blazers beat the Thunder to win their 6th straight game, and on Sunday, the Pelicans beat the Mavericks for their 8th consecutive victory. As it stands right now, Portland is 3rd in the West, and New Orleans is 4th, but that could easily change. These teams are super bunched up. But guys, Which team is the bigger playoff threat, the Blazers or the Pelicans? What you got?
Well, first, they're both not playoff locks at this point
Yeah.
because they're 2 games and 2.5 games, respectively, from falling out of the postseason. But I would take the Blazers. I think they're a little bit more steady. They rely on their defense a little bit more. Anthony Davis is basically the Pelicans' 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 option. I mean, listen, other guys are performing really well on the Pelicans, but I just think the Blazers are a little bit more of a balanced bunch. But it's hard to bet against Anthony Davis right now.
Yeah, the Blazers have got their defense back in order, which is key for them because we know in the past they've been able to score right, they haven't been able to stop teams. They've actually been the best defensive team since the All-Star break. It's only short, but that's important for them. I think for Anthony Davis and the Pelicans, they would ideally like the playoffs to start now while he's just so hot.
Yeah.
You know, but another 4 or 5 weeks, you can't really see him maintaining this incredible high level of play that he's been at lately. But if they get there, I always think a player like Anthony Davis playing it to this ability, it's very, very hard for a team to just stop a guy who's dominating at both ends of the floor like he is. So if the playoffs were to start today, I'd probably take the Pelicans.
Yep.
But overall, I think the Blazers have got a couple more years of building towards this moment. Lillard and McCollum, we know they're fantastic. Nurkic, he's been a little bit up and down this season. He's playing much better. I would probably take the Blazers. So it's very hard. You make a very strong case for both teams.
I like that reasoning. I'll agree with you guys ultimately. I think the Blazers are just a more balanced team. They actually remind me a little bit of the Raptors. They're sort of a Western Conference version. And what I mean by that is they've got their star guys. I mean, Lillard and McCollum are basically your DeRozan and Lowry. But then, especially over this streak and over the last little while, they were getting contributions from all these sort of other guys. I mean, you mentioned Nurkic, Al-Farouq Amino, Evan Turner's had a good game, Napier even, Collins, the rookie. Every once in a while, here's someone sort of chipping in, and then you throw in the nice defense with that, and that to me is a little reminiscent of a Raps team in the East putting up obviously a lot of wins. So I'll go with them, but yeah, you're right. You get AD right now, the way he's playing into a series, And it's cliche, but they say, who's the best player out there in a particular series, that team can tend to win more times than the other team. So that's a good one. That's a tough one to decide. Do you see that comparison a little bit to the Blazers and the Raps? Just in terms of sort of the depth they're getting right now from these guys?
Yeah, but the Raps have been steadier all season long.
Raps
They've
are
been
better.
rocks.
They're better.
And the thing is, the Blazers are 15-5 their last 20. It looks fantastic, but they also finished last year 14-6. And, things didn't go too well after that. So the Blazers, the thing is, they probably learned from that. And the Pelicans haven't had that experience together. But I think it's easy to shortchange when you're talking about Anthony Davis, to shortchange all the other guys that are playing really well. Drew Holiday is a former All-Star, playing extremely well there. They've got a bunch of guys, are they playing above their heads? A little bit. I think that's the case, and that's why I'd probably rely on these rocks. I agree. The backcourt is similar to the Raps backcourt. But it's great to see the Blazers, those guys relying on others. Because they need them desperately.
I would throw Harkless in there. Ed Davis has had his moments here. They've played really well recently. So, Trey, you're ultimately the final answer on this. Is it the Blazers or the Pelicans as the bigger threat?
Give me the Blazers. A little bit more experience, a little bit more playoff experience as well. Damian Lillard's got 2 series wins already. Not too bad. But anyways, new footage of Gordon Hayward hit the internet on Friday. And guys, he jumped. Naturally, Celtics coach Brad Stevens was asked about Hayward's return, to which he responded, he's not playing this year. I don't know what else to say. But what do you guys say? Is Gordon Hayward returning this year or nah? What you got?
You're basically asking us, is Brad Stevens a liar?
Yeah.
Because those were his most
sandbagging
those
us?
were his most definitive comments regarding Hayward, saying, he's not coming back. And then he made a bunch of jokes about how did he look, was he dunking? I wish he asked, was he playing in a hat? Because if Gordon Hayward comes back, he's got to wear a hat. That should be the rule. But I don't think he is, and I haven't for a long time. And I think that's the right choice here. The Celtics are still even a little bit ahead of the game here, if you want to, so to speak. There's no need to rush this at all. Let them get 100%. And then come back next year and start fresh.
It's been a blessing in disguise to see the way Brown and Tatum and even Marcus Morris has played for them. So I think at this point in the season, they never had Hayward. I know obviously for 5 minutes, but they never lost him halfway through and thought, well, listen, we need to get him back into our team to play our best. I think this season is just all about getting him 100% healthy for next season.
He jumped though, Lee.
Look at him bounce.
Hey, listen,
That's the thing. He's not even traveling with the team.
Yeah,
yet.
I know. I'm surprised actually he's moving this well already, considering how nasty that injury was. So I just think right off this season, get as healthy as you can, and there's no need to rush back. I think Brad Stevens is also trying to send a message to media like us to say he's not playing. Stop talking about it.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great idea to get us to stop talking about it. But unfortunately, you put out that footage, Players Tribune. People are going to be talking about it. He's on the basketball floor, even though he's not playing against anyone. He's not playing 1-on-1. He's not even playing 1-on-0 because he's not cutting.
Right.
There's only 18 games left in the season.
Remember Paul George came back a couple of years just to play again.
It's like
but that was
6 games.
Yeah, but that was a different situation because the Pacers weren't sort of where the Celtics are right now, where the Celtics are a legit chance to make the finals. And I think to incorporate a player like that might just upset their chemistry a little bit anyway. So I think it's better to just keep him on the side.
Yeah, with 18 games left.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even practicing.
No.
So when is he going to start practicing? I mean, he did come back. Paul George came back in March, but when? No.
But even if he could, would you
Well, I
want
don't
to
know.
risk
When's
that?
the date? Wouldn't it have to be basically now that he starts practicing?
Yeah. Okay, so we all agree we don't think Coach
He's
Brad
only going
Stevens is a liar.
60% on the
He's
Brad
definitely-
Stevens.
Now this is interesting because Trey for a long time has been saying you think Gordon Hayward's coming back. Are you sticking with that?
There's no way he's coming back. Or is he? No, he's not coming back. But maybe he is. I don't know. Anyways, from one kind of dunking to another, we're talking chicken McNuggets. On Saturday, a Cavs fan named Quinn tried the Me versus Nuggets challenge, where he'd try to eat more chicken McNuggets than the Denver Nuggets scored against the Cavs. He pleaded for defense, but guys, I got bad news for you. The Cavs gave up 126 points. As News 5 in Cleveland put it, this was the wrong game to try the challenge, as Quinn was able to eat only 115 nuggets.
Oh my!
Only 115.
Come on.
Still a winner in my books, but the question for y'all is, what's the best McNugget sauce? Honey mustard, sweet and sour, or tangy barbecue? What you got? We got sauces. They're coming on out right here for you guys. to go ahead
a taste test here.
Yeah,
do we?
get a couple
Just
of
the
dunks in there.
sauces?
Where's the
We're
nuggets?
We're dipping our fingies?
Well, where's the
He's got
nuggets?
pocket nuggets. Of course he does.
Where's the nuggets?
Yeah.
I got you some pocket nuggets. You're thinking
wow,
just a few nuggets. I don't think so, Lee.
The answer
I don't
is
think so,
sweet
Lee.
and sour
I
sauce
agree.
by a mile. I don't even think it's
let's-
close.
No, I'm going the tangy barbecue.
Sweet and sour. Get some for the fries as well. Sweet and sour is
the
the
nugs
best.
coming, by
Is
the way, if you got
best.
more.
I got more. I got a whole 20-piece on me. For almost an hour.
I haven't ate today.
Nothing
This is
like
great.
Okay.
Lee, what did you go with ultimately?
I went with the tangy barbecue. I've always been a barbecue man myself, but there's nothing like
You call it Barbie?
eating a nugget that's been in someone's pocket
Yeah.
for God knows how
want
long.
this?
Fine.
There's a boot.
He's had him in there
This
all
is a
day.
bell.
I'm double
Hey,
dipping.
see if you
Same
can
here.
see if you can put one in there.
All right, Trey. We got a couple sweet and
Sweet
sour
and sour.
sauces. We got
Baba.
barbecue.
You know
Here,
the-
throw me a sauce.
It's the only answer.
Throw me a sweet and sour
Which
sauce.
one you want?
For sure, my answer
Sorry-
is the
sorry,
sweet and sour.
crew.
Sorry.
That's all right.
crew.
It's all right. We got it.
Oh my
There we go.
God.
J.E. Skeet suspended for tomorrow's show, throwing sauce.
Oh, man.
Guys, sweet and sour sauce is the greatest McDonald's
That's right.
nugget dipping sauce. We even asked our fans earlier to chime in. We put the vote to them. Honey mustard, sweet and sour, tangy barbecue, close run.
Wow.
Right now, though,
what a
sweet
vote.
and sour leading the way, 35%. This is going all week. This is the biggest poll we've ever done.
Lee, how many nuggets could you take down in a game? What do you think?
I don't know, 25, I suppose.
I thought you were gonna say like 6.
I still got some in my back left pocket if you want, Lee.
No, keep them.
He comes back.
I'll save those for the rest of the week when the poll's done.
Back with the starters, right into the up-down report where we figure out where we stand on some hot-button NBA topics. First one, guys, on Saturday. The Rockets used a late surge in the final few minutes to beat the Celtics, 123-120 for their 15th consecutive win. It's the team's longest run since a franchise record 22-game win streak back in 2008. Shout out to Dikembe Mutombo. The next 4 games, though, for the Rockets, it's a little more difficult. They're all on the road, and you see there they got to go to OKC, Milwaukee, and Toronto before finishing that 4-game road trip in Dallas. So my question, are you up or down on the Rockets win streak surviving that little road trip? What do you think? Thumbs down. Everybody.
Wow.
They got to go into the house of the best home team in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors, which is incredible. And the Raptors crushed them earlier this season. I think they'll give it to them again. Not to say that this 18-game feat, if it gets that far, is not worthy of our consideration here, of our talk, because it's been phenomenal. And they beat a lot of winning teams throughout this streak. 10 of 15 have been winning teams. It's been fun to watch, but, you know, the Raps, give them a little respect on their home court. They are fantastic.
And it's just tough. They've got 4 road games. 3 of them are against playoff teams. No matter how good you're playing, if you catch somebody on the wrong night, it's going to be tough. 2 of those games are back-to-back. The next one is just 2 days later. That's a 3 and 4 nights. Those
Yeah.
are like almost schedule losses for a lot of
And
teams.
4
Maybe not for the Rockets.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And 4 and 6 as well. I mean, that's just going to be tough. They've been playing at such a high level. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe.
Sorry, he just wants to. Yeah. Are you up or down on Nuggets?
Up and down.
Nice, very nice.
Ugh.
Sauce on the thumb.
Yeah, I just think that they're gonna drop one of those, most likely to the Raptors. But again, OKC's a tough out for them. Milwaukee's a little up and down.
Yeah.
That Mavericks game is the most winnable, but it's the end of the trip as well. So they're gonna lose one.
Everybody goes down. Next one here. Remember former Lakers big man Robert Sacre? Well, he is playing hoops in Japan, and he was in the dunk contest they had over there, and put on quite the performance. Was ultimately his dunk there. Whoa, nice across the board. Wow. Guys, are you up or down on this Robert Sacre's dunk contest there in the Japan B League? What do you think?
Up on it.
Really?
Come on, Lee.
It just shows you how tough dunking is. A little bit more of an appreciation for our dunkers every Saturday in February when they pull it off.
Oh, I see.
But did he not try that windmill again? I mean, you at least got to. If you get 9s for that, then nailing a windmill.
He could have won it.
guaranteed.
Put it that way.
He could have done the It's Over Vince Carter there.
That's why I'm up. I mean, it's very funny. He still got the 3rd best score. I watched the whole Japanese slam dunk contest. 1 dunk apiece for the whole thing. That's
Right.
it. So
Whoa.
if this was his 1 dunk, he finished 3rd. Not so bad.
Wow, he got
That's a bad Bobby
45.
Sacre.
He got 45.
He got a 45. A guy threw the ball off the glass, did a windmill. He got a 46. So maybe this is just the way to go. Keep it safe.
Dominic Wilkins did a 2-hand windmill off 2 feet and got a 45.
Should have done it in Japan.
Okay, guys are torn on that one. All right, final one here, guys. Final one. This one's for the hype beasts out there, so Trey, pay attention. Supreme has teamed up with Nike and the NBA for some official merchandise. And in true 90s throwback fashion, yeah, this collection, utilizing a collage of NBA team logos across jackets and jerseys and shoes. I'm interested. Are you up or down on this Supreme slash Nike NBA collection. A lot of logos.
I'm going to defer
Sideways,
to Trey
huh?
on this one, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I'm up on it. You're
Yeah.
probably not going to want to wear it all together. You might look a little bit ridiculous, but if you got a jersey on with like a cool pair of short shorts, that might look fine. If you got the cool shorts on with a white t-shirt, you're looking good. Just don't do it all together. Though, Lee, I think you might be able to pull it off.
Lee, you should love this because
Yeah.
you don't have a favorite team. You
Exactly.
cheer for every
They're
team.
all your
Yeah,
favorite.
that
So
is
you
a
can
good
rock
point.
them
Yeah, it does. I do sort of represent all my teams. Like you never go too long without winning a championship when you meet. So it's great for that. But, yeah, I don't know. It's funny that it's come back.
Yeah,
You know,
the
there's that
NBA jeans look, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, doesn't fashion go in cycles?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's back, and the people who are buying this
Well, he's the
never saw
perfect-
it happen in the 90s.
He's the perfect model for it too, J.R. Smith. I think it looks.
He's
nice on
literally
him.
modeling
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
amazing. I guess that's what he did with his day off. He went and took some pictures. Worked out.
I think that's why he threw the soup on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, supreme.
Exactly. Let's hear from you guys. Thumbs up or thumbs down on all three of those. And yeah, whether or not you like nuggets. And what's your favorite sauce? Getting on that poll. When we come back, brand new batch of Weekend Whoopsies. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, official partner of the NBA.
Back with the starters where it's time for some Weekend Whoopsies. The NBA always delivers the bloops.
This game delivered lots of bloops, including Raul Neto going to the corner. What? Where's he looking?
Deep in the corner.
Yeah, we'll stick with this game for a while. Ricky Rubio using his head. Boink. I still can't tell if he meant to do this or not. That one, that angle sure does.
He's a creative passer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder commits a foul here, goes to the fans, and this lady in the front row with a heck of a reaction. Ooh, I've never heard that before. Then she commented about it on Twitter. I love going viral. She commented on the actual play. Great stuff. Thanks, Emma.
Sometimes you got to be aggressive when it comes to tucking your jersey. Tass, is that right?
Hey,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
hey,
Well,
whoa.
there is
That's
Wolf
fine.
Nemanja Bjelica. Drop and trowel.
Guys are in tights all the time. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, why do they even wear shorts at this point?
This Jazz fan mocking Wolves head coach Tom Thibodeau, not very nice.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
Did she go viral?
No.
No.
No. Nah.
Friday night, sticking with that, we got Mavericks Bulls. But there's only 4 Mavs out there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th Mav? The Bulls are going to
whoopsie.
score, right? Oh. Well, here comes Dennis Smith Jr. to attack, and they still would miss the free throw.
That's what we call a classic doinker.
He's just stunned there for a second or two. Classic.
Down to the fortress here in Atlanta. Torian Prince forgets that JaVale McGee is not on the Hawks. He was open. He definitely
Easy
was open.
layup for
Yeah.
Yeah.
After this alley-oop to Joel Embiid, his teemmate TJ McConnell yells in the ear of Markelle Fultz, and Markelle doesn't like it.
Saturday. Rockets, Celtics. Clint Capella wide open.
Ah, man.
The two-hand dunk. Wow. Oh, he's like, I can't believe it. Had a great year, too.
In this game, we had a rare ledgie. This ball gets stuck on the heel of the rim. It doesn't come down.
Wow.
Let's take another look.
So not a wedgie, but a ledgie.
Right.
Right.
Very
right.
nice.
Wedgie, ledgie, pigeon. That's the lexicon.
Same game. Pretty rare to award a whoopsie on a made free throw, but that's exactly what we're doing here because Kyrie Irving, the Celtics are down 2. There's only 5 seconds. He's got to miss. He's got to miss.
Oh.
But he accidentally gets that thing to drop, but he wasn't happy with it. Look how angry he is. Ah!
Too clutch.
We show you every jersey rip here on the starters, including Yusuf Nurkic, who does this real easily.
Oh.
No joke.
Well, these jerseys were
Yeah.
ripping early,
They
easy
don't
earlier
need
in the
any help.
season. Sunday, Pelicans guard Ian Clark. Just a little snacky during the game. Coming back the other way. Gonna grab some popcorn. Oh yeah.
Ah, yeah. That fan was ready.
Yeah.
It's one of the healthiest things you can eat in an arena.
That's true. You know what they say about the game today? Everybody's friends, everybody's hugging, everybody loves each other. Gotta stop all that. Murray Carroll, Bear hugs DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre loves it. What did he say? What did he say? The ref thinks that
That's no way.
the ref thinks that they're causing problems, but they just love each other.
Yeah, it's all right. After the jump, Lily loves very solid play. He's going to throw some thumbs on some.
Oh, you betcha.
2 games on NBA TV tonight. It is Fast Break Monday. We got Pistons Cavs starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Blazers and Lakers. And you see there pregame action starting in mere minutes right after the starters, so don't go anywhere. All right, Lee, we haven't forgotten
Right.
about your pick'em payoff.
I thought eating these nuggets was it.
No.
No?
No. That's a treat. You'll be
Or a
paying
snack.
you'll be paying off February's loss
Yeah.
on Wednesday, March 7th. So Wednesday, a couple nights from now. You'll be paying it off and it will be a hoot. It always is. But we've restarted things, of course, here in March. You see the records at the bottom. Bucks Pacers is our game tonight. Tass, the only one taking the Bucks on the road. Everybody else taking Indiana. Good luck to all. Lily, very solid play. Who gets the honor?
We're going to Sacramento, and it's the New York Knicks. A Manu Ginobili play here from Kylo Quinn. Check out this. Where's Courtney Lee? Kyle knows. Beautiful
Ooh,
pass.
that's
Beautiful
a little
finish.
sexy, Lee.
Well, yeah, but this is really what Manu does. I mean, this is where it started, the very solid play with passes like this. Beautiful, lovely finish. That's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid.
Solid evening for the very solid play, but an even better weekend for wedgies.
Yes.
We had 2 of them.
Yes.
Started Friday night. Oh, what a glorious night it was. We had this wedgie here between Detroit and Orlando. Mario Zonia sticking that 3-ball.
Nice. Right, let it
Wedgie
breathe.
number
Hey,
1
let it breathe
of
a
the
little
weekend, number 24 on the season. Sunday, Pellies, Mabbies, Anthony Davis in the post,
yeah.
shimmy,
Oh.
shake it,
Oh,
bang it.
a superstar
Sexy
wedgie.
wedgie,
Should
that
count for
one.
2.
AD has wedgied before, that's 100% sure. So that was wedgie 25 in the season. Then we were alerted that we forgot one last
Whoa!
week. This was spotted by Starters fan Kevin Daniels, and it's actually his birthday today, so happy birthday, Kevin.
it's
Happy
a
birthday
quickie, yeah.
to us
It's a quickie.
for getting wedgie number 26 now in total on the season.
All
Michael
right.
trying to claim the basket. Nice.
Nice. 26 wedges. Here we go. Twitter show tomorrow. Join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern on Twitter. That makes sense. Always a blast. Get your questions in right now. Hashtag the starters at the starters. We'll see you then. That's it for us tonight.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, we always give you the latest food trends here on the Starters. First it was Pocket Dogs, then it was Pocket Nugs, and now a beard nug.
Whoa!
Ah,